Hi there and welcome to 132nd live tech Q&A session powered by Lenovo Vibe, where you can ask me some tech related questions. And to post your questions, you have to post it via Twitter, and you have to just use the hashtag that is known as askgeekyranjit. And if you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter at @Geekyranjit. And I can already see actually a lot of questions. So let's start taking up those questions now. And I got this first question that was from Mr. Lagan. Let me highlight it, try to do that. Mr. Lagan, he's asking an interesting question. Let me check if the audio is fine, guys. Yes, audio is fine. And he's asking an interesting question that is regarding the Moto G 4th generation. And now I've been using this device for 5 days with my primary sim. And he's asking, considering the heating issues, do you recommend the Moto G4? Ash G4 was throttling during the camera testing that he had mentioned. Okay, let's get the facts right. The Moto G4 Plus is having that Snapdragon 617 chipset. And yes, it tends to heat up a little bit when you actually stress it a lot. That is when you do heavy gaming continuously for more than about 15 minutes. And if you use the camera, especially I noticed if you use the camera with video recording, yes, it tends to heat up. But apart from that, with regular usage, I did not notice any excessive heating. So with normal usage, yes, it won't. But if you are a person who plays a lot of games and uses the camera continuously over 15 minutes, which is not a case that normal users will continuously use the camera for 15 minutes. In those situations, yes, it tends to heat up. Particularly, I don't like that it heats up while gaming. It can touch up to about 46 degrees centigrade. But with normal usage, I did not notice any excessive heating. It's getting warm a little bit at the back, but that's what I'm seeing with almost every other phones. But if you are a gamer and you play a lot of games, then I would not recommend you this device. I hope that helps. Let's again, this Mohit Gupta is also asking a very similar question. Same thing. Technically speaking, I would say Mohit, the Snapdragon 650 SoC that we find on this Redmi Note 3 heats up a little bit less compared to the Snapdragon 617 chipset. For example, with extended gaming, when I did test this Redmi Note 3, if I recall, it touched to maximum of 42 to max it touched 43 degrees centigrade. Whereas with this Moto G4 Plus that uses the Snapdragon 617, it can go up to about 45 to 46 degrees Celsius. I hope that helps. And this is again an interesting question from Mr. Faiz CT. It goes from ZUK Z1 and Redmi Note 3. Which one will you choose for your personal use according to your needs? Okay, this is a very interesting question. I have all the three devices with me, and I've used all these three devices as my personal drivers for at least a week. These are the three devices I would say. And one thing, let's get it out of the way. All three devices are actually really good devices. And I feel some devices out of these excel in some areas and some excels in some areas. I would say if you want the best camera performance, that is on the Moto G4 Plus. But I feel in terms of video performance, if you record a lot of video, then I feel the Moto G4 Plus video recording is not that great. In that aspect, I would say the ZUK Z1 has the best video recording. Even from the front-facing camera, the video recording is actually really good on the ZUK Z1. Whereas the camera is the weakest point on the Redmi Note 3 among these devices. In terms of battery life, I would say the Redmi Note 3 gets the best battery life out of these three devices. The second position would come to the ZUK Z1, and last position would come to the Moto G4 Plus. It's not like the Moto G4 Plus battery is bad, but among these three, I would say it's the weakest. I could get a screen on time of about 5 hours on this one with my typical full day's usage, whereas on the ZUK Z1, you can get about 6 to 6.5 hours of screen on time. Whereas on this Redmi Note 3, I could even touch about 7 hours of screen on time. In terms of build quality, here things change. I would say the best build quality in terms of the solid feel, the ZUK Z1 gets my vote. Second, I would rate. It's very close, I would say. Second, I would slightly rate the Moto G4 Plus. And last, I feel in terms of build quality, I would rate the Redmi Note 3. It just feels a little bit light. And I get that feeling if I drop it, this would get the most damage. That's what I noticed. So again, decide what you want. If you want the best camera, then and you take mostly for static pictures, then obviously the Moto G4 Plus will get you that. But again, it with the extended gaming, it heats up. So if you are a gamer, I would suggest this. In fact, in gaming, surprisingly, the ZUK Z1 did the best in gaming. It did not heat up that much. It went in 44 degrees centigrade with extended gaming, but it did not drop the frames and stuff. But the con is that some of the games, very few games, might not work on the ZUK Z1. So among all these three, I would say if I had to pick one, I've used all of these. I felt that the ZUK Z1 would be my personal pick because I use the front-facing camera a lot. For example, I even do that weekly talks and stuff. So I use that front-facing camera, and I feel the front-facing camera on this one is actually really good. And also the cellular call quality was really nice, and the battery life is also good. So my pick would be this. But again, as I've mentioned, all these three devices excel in one area or the other. There's nothing like one device is perfect in everything. So decide based on your preference, I would say. Let's move to the next one. This is by Pro Austin. He's asking which is the best option right now among these. He says Galaxy S7 Edge, LG G5, iPhone 6s, iPhone SE. I didn't test the iPhone SE, so I can't comment about it. And even the LG G5, I didn't test it. It's going to launch soon in India. On 1st May, it will be launching. So I'll be testing the LG G5. So I can comment about it only then. I have the iPhone 6s. I, in fact, own the iPhone 6s. I hardly use it. Let's see, it's in my drawers. I don't even take it out. So between the S7 Edge and the iPhone 6s, definitely the S7 Edge is a far superior device, I would say. The camera is way better on that. Also, now it supports expandable storage. So S7 Edge would get my vote. But one thing I don't like on the S7 Edge, and I actually tweet about that also quite a bit, is the fingerprint scanner on the S7 Edge is sort of very average, I would say. There are definitely the iPhone 6s fingerprint scanner is better. So again, I will be testing the LG G5 very soon. So it's launching on 1st May. So I can comment only after that. I hope that info helps. Okay, this is by Kushal. I'll take this question. He's asking why the Zook Z1 Indian unit is getting a lot of negative comments on Amazon relating to heating, hanging, very bad camera. Kushal, I have already posted my, full in-depth review in which I actually shared a lot of samples. And even in the unboxing video, I shared a lot of samples. And the camera is actually really good on the Z1. And that Moto gesture of automatically chop gesture. The camera is actually really good thanks to OIS. You can check the samples. Lately, what is happening with this lot of e-commerce site is that sad thing. If you notice, last year this also happened with the Xiaomi Mi 4. There were a lot of bad comments about the Xiaomi Mi 4. And I don't know who's doing that. These are some other competitors who are trying to tarnish the images of some of the devices that are sold online. Last year, we saw that with the Mi 4. A lot of user comments on Flipkart, initial comments said that it had heating issues and stuff like that. And when I tested it, in fact, I got a review unit from Xiaomi. I did test that and it ran fine. I said that you can check my review, it ran fine. Then because I got some user comments that it was heating or whatever, I purchased a retail unit from Flipkart and I did again test that. And again, you can check out the review after using it for a month. And I said it performed great. So lately, what is happening? I don't know who's doing this, which companies after this, but be a little bit wary about online comments because I feel they are getting manipulated a little bit. So check with other reviewers also and stuff who have actually tested the ZUK Z1. Personally, I had a very good experience with the ZUK Z1 and I've already posted my full in-depth review. You can check out that for more info. I used this device with my primary SIM for 8 days. Anyways, let's move to the next one. Okay, this is by Naman. He's sharing some stats. He says that I have the ZUK Z1 and he says he's getting 6 hours, 3 minutes of SRT. I'm a moderate user. Is my battery in good condition? Naman, 6 hours of screen on time is actually really, really good. I don't know what's why you feel it's bad. It's amazing battery life, I would say. Even the Nexus 6P that I have barely gets me 5 hours of screen on time. I normally get about 4 hours, 40 minutes of screen on time. So what you're getting 6 hours of SOT is actually really good. Let's move to the Next question, very generic question. He's asking how do you do blogging? Just open a website. You can start with WordPress, is free, and start blogging, I would say. Let's move. Let me just refresh, guys, the questions, and let me check the audio. And guys, a big thumbs up to all of you guys. We touched 935 live users as of now. That's sort of a record. Thank you guys for that, and a big thumbs up to all of you for the same. Let me check the audio, guys. It's working fine. And yes, the questions have loaded. So let me just look at them. Give me a second. Some of you are asking me about Reliance Jio. I haven't actually used Reliance Jio. You can check Varun from Phone Arena. Actually, he is using the Reliance Jio SIM card. So direct the questions to him. He's in a good position to tell you how's the feedback with that one. Okay, let's move. This is by Abhishek. He's asking Mi 5 or the Nexus 5X or the Vibe X3, which one is better? Again, Abhishek, the problem is that with all these devices, there are some serious flaws as of now. For example, if you have watched my Mi 5 review, overall, I love the design of this Mi 5. This is the Mi 5. It's a really compact phone. It's a really powerful phone. The biggest problem that I have is the cellular network connectivity issues that I'm having with this. Because of that, I'm not able to recommend this device. I'm sure Xiaomi might be able to fix it with the software updates. So next month, I'm going to retest this device. Hopefully by that time, we'll get updates. So as of now, at least on Airtel 4G here in Hyderabad, I faced a lot of network issues, and also there are very high battery drain with the Mi 5. Hence, I can't recommend the Mi 5. Nexus 5X, I would not recommend you guys as of now. Because the screen quality is not that great. The build quality is simply not that great. So I can't recommend. Even the Vibe X3 is a decent phone, but the biggest problem with the Vibe X3, and I said that also in my full review, is that the camera is the weakest point about the Vibe X3. So if you are a sort of a person who does not care that much about the camera, then certainly you can have a look at the Vibe X3. But if you are picky about the camera, I would not recommend the Vibe X3. The OnePlus 3 is also supposed to launch sometime next month. So let's see what OnePlus does and at what price point. So let's quickly move, guys. This is a question by Naveen the Techie. He says, is it a nice upgrade from Samsung Galaxy Note 4 to the Note 5? Or the Vivo X Play? I haven't tested the Vivo X Play, so I can't comment. Note 5 is a good device, I would say. But Naveen, I would suggest why now? Wait, because we know that the Note 6 is going to be launched in the next 3 odd months or whatever. Maybe around 2 months, because Samsung is just these days preponing their launches. So obviously in the next 3 months we'll see the Note 6. So I would not recommend the Note 5, because obviously we know that the lots of rumors that the Note 6 will have 6 gigabytes of RAM, a huge improved camera, hopefully a better fingerprint scanner. So if I were you, I would not upgrade to the Note 5 as of now. I would wait for the Note 6. Okay, this is a very interesting question. Let's take this. This is from Neeraj. He's asking your thoughts on the ₹1 for the OnePlus glasses. Yes, OnePlus is selling their VR glasses for just ₹1 on Amazon. I think so. They are charging just ₹1 because Amazon must have said that we just can't ship the products if it's for free. So maybe that is the reason that they're shipping it for just ₹1. And I think again, the launch for the OnePlus 3 would be that virtual launch like that they did for the OnePlus 2. Hence, they are giving away those virtual glasses. I'm just going to take one question per user. So Naveen, I've already taken one question, so won't take more. This is by Neeldhar. He's asking, first of all, happy birthday. Thank you, Neeldhar. He's saying, please suggest me a phone under ₹17,000, no lag, gaming, watching videos and surfing or whatever. I would say no lag. Are you going to do gaming? Oh yeah, you said gaming. Otherwise, I would have said the Moto G4 Plus. Gaming at heats. You can look at the ZUK Z1. It did not lag a little bit, and it's just available for 13,500. Fingerprint scanner is good. You can check out my review that I posted last week, I guess, for all the details. Also, another choice if you want is the Redmi Note 3 at just 12,000 rupees. The 3GB RAM model is also a very good device. In fact, my dad is the 2GB RAM variant that I purchased from Amazon. I gave it to my dad, the Redmi Note 3, and he's been using now that for almost a month, and he never complained anything about it yet to me. He's sort of very happy. He says the battery life is like amazing. Anyways, let's move. Again, as I told you, Geo SIM I am not using, so I can't answer those questions. Let's move. Okay, this is an interesting question. This is by Sheldon. He's asking, which is more powerful chipset, Snapdragon 801 or Snapdragon 650 SoC? I would say technically the Snapdragon 650 SoC has the more powerful, the two cores that it has, the powerful cores are based on the ARM Cortex A72, which are technically a bit more powerful. But where it loses to the Snapdragon 801, I feel, is in terms of the GPU. Hence, if you see my Redmi Note 3 gaming review, you notice that with some of the heavy games, the Redmi Note 3 actually lagged with the Nova 3, if I recall, and also with Asphalt 8. But that was not the case with the the Snapdragon 801 that we found on the ZUK Z1. So in raw computing, I feel, the Snapdragon 650 SoC might go a little bit ahead. But in terms of GPU and all those things, the Adreno 330 GPU is more powerful than the GPU that is found on the Snapdragon 650 SoC. But one place again the Snapdragon 650 SoC goes ahead compared to the 801 is that I feel the Snapdragon 650 SoC heats up a lot less compared to the Snapdragon 801 SoC. And also in terms of battery life, the Snapdragon 650 SoC is a little bit more efficient. So hope that answers your question. Let's move. Akshay Sharma is asking, he says he wants to purchase a new smartphone. He says, should I buy the Galaxy S7 or wait for the Note 6? Please suggest. Akshay, again, we know, the Note 6 is going to launch, as I mentioned just earlier, and it's going to have some sort of monster spec, 6GB of RAM. That'll be first for Samsung. So if you can wait for about 3 months, wait, I would say. But the Samsung Galaxy S7 is a very good phone. Again, the S7 is sort of the compact size phone, whereas again, the Note 6 is going to be a large screen size phone. So take that also into consideration also. But I think the Note 6, realistically, we are looking at least at about 3 months from now. So decide based on that. This is by Mohammad Ibran. He's asking, ZUK Z1 was made on 32 bits. If after 1 year all games are made on 64 bit, will Z1 be compatible? First thing, Mohammad Imran, I don't think so any of the games will use a 64 bit mandatory chip, because game developers want to keep it backward compatible. And the biggest advantage for a phone or a computer moving from 32 bit to 64 bit is the amount of RAM it can access. And you hit the bottleneck only when you exceed 4GB of RAM or more. So with the devices like the Redmi Note 3 and even ZUK Z1 that have just 3GB of RAM, the 64-bit issue is not prevalent. Yes, with devices that have more than 4GB or more RAM, then you need 64-bit capable chips. I hope that answers your question. Let's move. This is by Mr. Karthik Rao. He's asking, Redmi Note 3 versus Moto G4 Plus, which is better? Priority in display, audio both from speakers and what is 3.5? Okay, speakers and headphone jack, and build quality. Build quality, I would give this very slight edge to the Moto G4 Plus. I would say very slight. I feel the Moto G3 was a lot better built. But if I have to compare just based on build quality, both are decent. But if I have to give one, if I press it really hard, both these devices, I feel I'll give the slight edge to the Moto G4 Plus, but not by a huge margin. Next, you asked about display. Display, strangely, I would give the vote to, I would say, again by a small margin, to the Moto G4 Plus. Though even the display panel on this Redmi Note 3 is a good panel, I would say. If you're not very extremely picky, you won't notice that. But slight edge I would give to the G4 Plus regarding display. And speakers, again, as this one is having a front firing speaker, obviously it's a little bit louder. With the headphone jack, I would give the vote to the Redmi Note 3, because with the Redmi Note 3, thanks to that MIUI, you can go into audio settings, and there are a lot of settings that you can tweak as per your liking. Whereas on the Moto G4 Plus, it's not that much settings that you get. And also I feel the audio output from the headphone jack, it's not bad, but again, I wouldn't say it's also great. I would say in that respect, I would say the ZUK Z1 had a far better output from the headphone jack. So again, from the headphone jack output, I would give the vote to the Redmi Note 3. I hope that helps. Let's move. And again, guys, I just noticed that we touched we crossed the 1,000 users live. This is the first time, guys, so big thank you for all of you for making this happen. I just can't believe that we just crossed 1,000 live users watching this live Q&A. Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot for that. Anyways, let's move to the next question. Again, one question per users, multiple. I want to give everybody a chance. Rajat is asking me, do a gaming review for the Zenfone Max 2016. I'll try to do that, Rajat. The only thing that we have to test with the Zenfone Max is that will it heat or not, because it is having the Snapdragon 615 chipset. So that is the only thing that we have to look at. I'll try to test that. So just too many devices lying around, but definitely I'll try to do that. Okay. Raman is asking, are your Audio Technica ATH CLR still working? Yes, Raman, they are still working, but I am sort of a guy who does not abuse his devices and stuff. They are still working perfectly fine, I would say, and I still love them. I think so. I paid 600 rupees for that earphones, and for that price, the sound quality is mind-boggling, I would say. Many people ask me to compare it with the Sennheiser's CX180, which also I own. The Sennheisers are just nothing in front of that, I would say. For 600 bucks, if you have that budget, just go for the ATH CLR. But yeah, if you're a very rough user, you have to be careful, because I feel the wires are a little bit weak. Let's move. Same questions are repeating. I don't know what's wrong with this Twitter feed. Let me just refresh it. 1 second, guys. Let me just refresh the questions. It's just acting crazy a little bit. Yes, let's. Okay, some of you actually asked me earlier. I don't recall the question scored. LG G5, yes, I'm going to review it. It's going to launch on May 1st. So expect videos around that time. This is by Mr. Tanmay Mitra. He's asking my budget. He says is 15,000 rupees. Camera and battery and a little bit of gaming is my priority. Which one should I choose? Tanmay, if you don't do very heavy gaming, I would say go with the Moto G4 Plus, because I feel the camera on this one is actually really good. But if you shoot a lot of video, then this might not be the ideal handset. In that case, I would say the ZUK Z1 is better for video work. But just photographs a lot, then this one, yeah, battery life is okay. I'll give you my battery stats. Again, it's been 5 days since I've been using this Moto G4 Plus with my primary SIM. And it'll last me for a full working day. That means if I remove it from charger from 7 a.m. in the morning, even at night at about 11:30, I still have about 25% battery left. And in terms of screen on time, I would say anywhere between 4.5 hours to about 5 hours of screen on time. This is by Major Lee Hung. He's asking, what do you have to say about users getting 2 GB RAM Moto G Plus, ordering the 3 GB RAM model? I also saw a tweet about that. It's really interesting. You actually, I would say, bring that to attention to Motorola. I don't know what the hell is wrong with Motorola. How could that happen? I wish I could get a device like that. It would be really fun, I would say. Some of you are asking me about my thoughts on the HTC 10 and the HTC 10 lifestyle price point in India. As of now, we don't know the pricing of HTC 10 or the HTC lifestyle because they haven't announced it. And guys, I don't know if I'll be reviewing that because HTC didn't even bother to actually invite me for the India launch. I even got an email, and even Ash from C4E Tech didn't get it. So if they want to ignore us, why should we even care about their products? So I don't know if I'm going to review the HTC 10 or not. Let's move. In fact, Ash is already testing the HTC 10. So again, you can check out his videos for the HTC 10. This is by Gabbar TV. Interesting name. He says, I want to buy a smartphone under rupees 12,000. Please help me. I would say under 12,000, if your budget is that strict, just go for the Redmi Note 3. For 12,000 rupees, it's an amazing device that you can get. I've already posted its review about, 1.5 months ago. Check out that. Everything is not perfect, but for 12,000 rupees, I would say it's a very good phone. But do one thing if you buy this Redmi Note 3, just get a case, I would say, because I don't know, I feel it's a little bit fragile. Even the one that I gave to my dad, the 2 GB RAM model that I purchased from Amazon, I bought a case and gave it to him. So just get a case if you're buying this device. Okay, this is an interesting question regarding smartwatches. So let's just take it. This is by Rahul. He's asking, is the Moto 360 a good buy or any other smartwatch in my opinion to gift to my friend? Rahul, if you're going for the Moto 360, I would strongly suggest go for the Moto 360 second generation. The first generation is simply not that good. I own the Moto 360 first generation, and to be frank, the experience was subpar. The battery life is subpar, and after 10 days, I stopped using that. I gave it to my wife. My wife told that I'll use it, but she also gave up after 5 days. So because the battery life is simply not that great. And also with smartwatches, it's not just Moto 360. I even use the Gear S2. I feel they miss the notifications, and the vibration motor on them is sort of very weak. I'm currently using this Pebble Time Steel, and I don't know, it's strange. I love this Pebble Time Steel. It's not your traditional smartwatch. It doesn't even have a touch screen, but where it excels is in terms of battery life. I can get about 7 to 8 days of battery life per charge, and I never miss any notification. And you can customize it a lot, but again, the con is that it's not a touchscreen, so you have to use the buttons and stuff on this one. But it's working very well. I'll soon try to post a review for this Pebble smartwatch. I would say it's not for everyone, but for you, if your smartwatch is something that you want great battery life, you don't want to miss notifications and get the basic stuff right, then I feel Pebble is a worthy opinion that you should check. Because I feel other smartwatches, the biggest con for me is that they just last for 1 day, and with my busy schedule, I always keep forgetting to charge them, and whenever I want to go out of wear, it's always out of charge. So anyways, I'll try to post a review for this Pebble smartwatch very soon. Again, as I told you, it's not for everyone, but I feel for a certain segment of audience who want those certain features, I feel Pebble excels in that. And that is the reason that you are noticing that from the last couple of weeks, I am actually wearing this Pebble smartwatch. Last 3 weeks continuously, I'm wearing that. Anyways, let's move to the next question, guys. And before we proceed, there is a question that Lenovo had for you guys. So just vote for that question. Here is the question that is on your screen, guys. It's Lenovo wants to ask you guys, what type of operating system do you guys prefer on your smartphone? First is vanilla stock Android. Second option is stock Android plus features something like what we find on Moto devices, I'm guessing. Third is a skin Android like TouchWiz or whatnot. Or fourth is something like Cyanogen. In fact, I've just tweeted about this. Then let me check if the poll is live. Yes, the poll is live. So you guys can vote, and I hope, and just use the hashtag tell Lenovo, and I hope they take our feedback and improve their products, future upcoming products or whatever. Let's move to the next question now. Okay, this is by Japan Obam. He's asking, please suggest me a good smartphone under rupees 13,000. My priorities, he says, are camera, screen, storage, battery, and gaming. Wow, you have covered almost everything. Japan, I would say for 13,500, have a look at the ZUK Z1. The camera is actually good on that, thanks to OIS. Screen quality is decent. By default, if when you buy the ZUK Z1, the screen will be slightly on the yellowish side. Just go into the settings, display, color, temperature, and just move the slider. That way, then whites will actually look white on that. So the screen's quality is good. Storage, you get 64 gigabytes of internal storage. You just don't get that for that. Any other device does not offer that much storage for that price. And battery life is actually good. And gaming also is good. You can check out my full in-depth review. I've already posted details about that last week. Just check out my channel. This is by Ayan Khan. Again, interesting question. He says, sir, on your recommendation, I brought the Redmi Note 3, but it sucks in gaming. Shall I go for the Moto G4 Plus? Yes, in gaming, as I told you, with some of the heavy games, the Redmi Note 3 does lag, and I feel that's due to the GPU. Just people are just going because it has having the Snapdragon 650, but the GPU is not that powerful. I would say, Ayan, if gaming is really important, the problem with the Moto G4 Plus is that, as I've mentioned, it tends to heat up quite a bit with gaming. So I would say the middle ground better for you would be the ZUK Z1. Just check out the gaming review that I posted on the ZUK Z1 for more info. Let's move. Pritesh is asking, suggest me a high-end Android tablet. Lately, I haven't reviewed a lot of Android high-end tablets. The last one that I reviewed was the Samsung Galaxy Tab S2, and I feel that was a good tablet if you are looking for an Android tablet. But frankly speaking, guys, I would say if you want to go for a tablet, I prefer iPad over Android tablets, because the sad fact is that the apps are simply not optimized for the larger screen size for the tablet form factor on Android tablets. Hence, you see very few tablets, and I feel for the tablet form factor, as of now, Android is not that great. But yes, the Android N is coming, which will natively support split screen and stuff. So things might change later on, but as of now, if I were you, I would go with the iPad. I would say iPad A2 or something like that. Hope it helps. And let's check. And guys, again, thanks. We are touched 1062 live users, guys. Thanks a lot for that. You have really made this day for me. It's my birthday, and thank you, guys. That's the gift from you, all of you. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button also. So let's just continue. Okay, I have answered this similar question, but let's just take it because this is a similar question that I get a lot. This is by Krishan. He's asking, happy birthday, thank you. Best phone under rupees 12,000 with long battery life, little gaming, and average camera. Top priority, movie watching. I would say, as you have told, camera is not your highest priority, and you do a little bit of gaming. I feel for your needs, the Redmi Note 3 might be the perfect pick. Go with the 3GB RAM model, I would say. This is by Prabhu. He's asking, I like Huawei phones, he says, but why every phone is not launching in India? Sadly, Prabhu, as of now, Huawei is not that serious in India. And if you notice, Huawei just launches their Honor series of devices in India. The Honor series are their mid-range devices. I've heard that Huawei is going to start launching their high-end premium phones also in India. But again, I don't have a specific time frame for that. Okay, another question I got is from Ankush. He's asking Galaxy S7 or the HTC 10. I haven't tested the HTC 10, so simply can't comment as of now. And this is an interesting question by Dhruv. He's asking, which is better, Moto G4 Plus or the Galaxy J7? Obviously, the Moto G4 Plus is a far superior device compared to the Galaxy J7. But there are some aspects where the Galaxy J7 goes ahead. That is, first thing is in battery life. You'll get a slightly better battery life on the Galaxy J7. And also in gaming, I feel the Galaxy J7 heats up a lot less compared to the Moto G4 Plus. For example, when we did our gaming review, the Galaxy J7 2016 edition touched a maximum of 38-39 degrees Celsius, whereas with the Moto G4 Plus, we touched 45 to 46 degrees Celsius. But again, the problem with the Galaxy J7 is that as it's Samsung mid-range, they have a really bad habit of skimping almost every sensor. It does not even have basic sensors like auto brightness, no haptic feedback, then no gyroscope, forget about the advanced sensors and stuff like compass or whatnot. So they have I like the J7 because of the good battery life, and the processor is actually good, the new Exynos processor, but it fails because it does not have a lot of basic sensors that you expect on a device. Again, this is by Akash, and he is asking, when is the Pebble review coming? Very soon. I'll try to post it this week itself. So guys, it's been over 35 minutes now, so I will be ending this live Q&A session. And do remember guys that we do this live Q&A session every Tuesdays at 7 p.m. India time. So I hope you'll also be able to join me next week. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Again, take care. See you soon.